Welcome back. February 2nd, 2020, coming out of Studio 44. What a treat tonight. We got Papa Romeo in the house running the boards tonight. As a producer James will be back mañanas. But Papa Romeo, how are you tonight?
Well, doing a little OJT here, working for my son. So what could be better?
Well, I don't know if anybody knew I was your son. I'm going to tell you a story real quick. I was with my buddies, and I know you know Chris Becker. Shout out Lawman ATX.
Flatonia.
And we were out having our fantasy football weekend a few months ago. Everybody was, of course, minding their P's and Q's with CDC standards. And we were having, everybody was around the grill, and we were talking about, Flatonia and his son Cam and how well Flatonia did in that 2019 season. And he kept calling. He's like, P-Rod, Papa Romeo. And I'm like, I go, Becker, that's not his real name, dude. He goes, what? He's like, are you shitting me? I was like, no, that's his like stage name. So I just wanted to give him a quick shout out and let you know that story, because he legitimately thought your first name was Romeo, and because you were my dad, called Papa Romeo.
That's my alter ego,
as they say.
It's because I have soul.
I mean, sometimes, you did grow up in the 70s, so.
I got more soul than I can control sometimes.
Whatever these puns are going to get you, it's going to be laughable for those who are watching in that age bracket. But everybody, welcome back. We're going to get things started. The biggest topic I really wanted to kick off with was today, NFL.com's Tom Pelissero reporting that 2 Kansas City Chiefs players have been placed on the COVID reserve list due to contract tracing. For some reason on Sunday, they were getting haircuts, and the barber that was cutting their hair tested positive for COVID. Now, they don't have COVID, the 2 players, which I'm not going to name just to be respectful out of them. But this is something I talked about yesterday. I was talking to producer James, and I was telling him that, it'd be a damn shame if we had Tyreek Hill, so to speak, a perennial superstar, come down and put on a COVID list about 6 days. Well, it came to fruition today. And so for those 2 players, they're not impact players. They're kind of more role players. But it's so concerning right now, I think, because we've gone through the pandemic. We saw what happened in March of 2020, and the basketball season instantly got shut down then. And then today, to kind of see this story and read it and how impactful it has been, I think, for those 2 people, because, if you're going to get the opportunity to play in a Super Bowl, I think that's just something you could tell your family for generations. And to be excluded because of this pandemic, I think is going to be real hurtful for them. Just circumstances that were out of their control. And it's really unfortunate for them to be on that COVID list coming into, like 6 days out for the Super Bowl. But I was really, really concerned thinking about that over the weekend. I saw some of the pundits talking about it on the S, the P's, and the N's, and how they were, pleading with Brady to, like, don't go anywhere. And then, over the weekend, you see Tom on social media, sunroof back, with his dog cruising down highways in Florida. And you're just so concerned for their safety, so that in a real, maybe selfish way, you don't want them to get sick, so we can see this great Super Bowl between Brady and Mahomes and crew. And so I thought about that overnight, and I was like, man, I hope I really didn't jinx the team. And here we go, 24 hours later, reading the story from Tom Pelissero, how those 2 players have been put on that reserve list. And, I wish them well. Shout out to the barber. Hope he's well. Hope he survives, which I'm pretty sure he will. But that was something I really wanted to lead off with tonight. I want to see more of how Super Bowl Tuesday is going to be something that we kind of look back on. I think the whole season is going to be eventful, and whoever's going to get to put that montage together, looking back on the season, I think is going to have quite a task, going back really to probably the beginning of the NFL new year back in March of 2020, because that's about the time COVID dropped with the new league year. And, the CBA that came through, the virtual draft from back then. And this year, I think we're going to have a lot of similar things moving forward. But it's going to be a chore, but I hope we can get through Sunday. And then once Sunday's over, I know the league will have a sigh of relief. The fans will as well. But shout out to the NFL. I talked about this on another podcast I was on, the Recon Athlete podcast. shout out to Chris and Zach, about how the NFL's, if anybody was going to figure out COVID and the protocols and the systems to be put in place to get through the season, it'd be the NFL. And we got to give props to Goodell and his security team and his medical teams to put the right procedures in place. No games were canceled. I think they were one of the only major sports leagues that didn't have to cancel a game. Now, did they move things around? Did they maybe favor some other teams like Baltimore? Maybe. Did they leave some teams out like the Pittsburgh Steelers? Yeah, they did. But for the most part, we got to see a really great season. And if you're a Cowboys fan, you didn't want to see Dak go down the way he did. But a lot of leverage there. We're probably going to talk a little bit about Dak and Jerry Jones and the contract dispute, probably in maybe the third block when we get to it tonight. But I really wanted just to kind of talk with everybody and just get a sense of how real the game is for everybody involved, especially if you're a big heavyweight fan like me, pun intended, or if you're just someone who's out there like trying to make some money betting off props or putting money on the game, or if you're just a social fan who wants to watch the commercials. It's an event, a national event that we all really get to, explore and have fun and enjoy, all the while, having fun with the family. And I think that this year we may not be with as much family as we want to be, but at the same time, it's a distraction I think we all really are grateful to have in the 2021 new year. And with that being said, just want to give a quick recap of what we're talking about today before we take a break. This today, we're going to be talking about high school recruiting again. Probably in about 2 minutes, we'll take a break, and then we're going to do high school recruiting in the next block. Wednesday is National Signing Day for all the universities from D1s to D3s. We got some really new big offers that came in today. I'm going to share those with y'all. And just so y'all know, the rich get richer. And some of the smaller schools we're going to highlight because I want to make sure that, when we talk about the Penn States, the Texas, the Colorados, we also want to make sure that we talk about the, McPherson College. We want to make sure that we talk about Hardin-Simmons. We want to make sure we also mention, Texas A&M Kingsville or UT Permian Basin or Lamar. So we want to make sure we talk about all of those schools and give equal representation because there's a lot of great talent in the area. And I want to showcase what the young people are doing and the sacrifices that them and their family are giving up. Probably in the later blocks, we're going to talk about more of Mahomes and Brady. We're going to probably lean a little bit more heavy on KC today because Papa Romeo called me out yesterday, y'all, and was saying that I was favoring the Bucks. And, we've talked about things offline, and I'm still kind of trying to figure out where I'm leaning, but I'm leaning right now towards KC. But the way this COVID stuff is going, it really kind of made me hesitate on, do I put all my chips in one basket? I'm not sure yet. But when we come back from the break, we'll go ahead and we'll get into the Austin area high school recruiting. And when I say Austin, it's not just the greater Austin, not just Austin proper. It's all the surrounding communities in the greater Austin area. So we'll be back. We're going to take about a 4-minute break. There's not going to be a timer, but go get your snacks, use a bathroom break, and we'll see you in the flip side. Welcome back, everybody. High school recruiting next, but before we get in there, I got to make sure I check in on the elder statesman to my left. How are things going over there, Papa Romeo?
Not too bad, not too bad.
Your milk and magnesia doing all right with you?
Yeah, not too bad. I'm hanging in there. I was just kind of wondering, you never really mentioned how much you were going to pay me to do this.
I tell you what, it's an in-kind payment option right now.
In-kind,
payment
wow.
option, remember. So there's going to be in-kind payments over probably 2 or 3 weeks.
Is there a union for producers?
I think there probably is a union. Probably not in Texas and up north. Maybe there may be.
I'm just kidding.
Well, it's good that you were in here. I mean, if you have anything you'd like to contribute, just go ahead and feel free to hop on in.
Well, I'm probably, if I can quote Jean-Claude Van Damme, going to challenge you on the Tampa Bay Bucks at some point.
So you're telling me you're wearing your black silk underwears?
No, negative.
Oh, okay.
Remember, it's a family show.
No, this is a man show.
Oh, it's a man show.
Yeah, this is a man show.
Okay, well, okay.
Yeah.
Well, all right.
I thought I made that very evident yesterday.
I'll have to call your mother and let her know that.
Making sure that we can call T.O. a bitch when we need to.
Okay, all right. I'm gonna
mute
myself.
That makes him feel uncomfortable. All right, so yeah, moving forward as we transition into high school recruiting, big day today. If y'all went and were able to go check out Recon Athlete, I uploaded all day long numerous offers from the weekend, and I'm gonna go ahead over right now to Recon Athlete on Instagram. Feel free to go over and join me as we get things started. One person I want to highlight, and I talked about him yesterday, and I just don't know if I did him justice because I had to watch his tape one more time. But Connor Robertson, the junior offensive lineman at Westlake, 6'4", 300 pounds, 4-star recon rated offensive guard, picked up offers this past week, starting Saturday to today. He's picked up offers from Tulane, the University of Texas, and from Mississippi State, Hail State. So with that being said, I really wanted just to talk about how the young man's aggressiveness, he kind of plays the game the way they played in the 70s. Very aggressive with his hands, but it keeps him inside. Really good pad level, and his feet and his hips, I think, were so advanced for his age because he didn't play, to my knowledge, on the championship team from 2019. But when he did jump up to play this past year, 2020, as starting guard, his tape just jumped off the screen for me. And when I saw him coming in, he was a 3-star rated kid. And so to see him progress through the season and take on the upper echelon talent, especially out of North Shore. North Shore was rated, number 1 when they played in the semifinals. And for him to dominate, especially a kid across from him who was 6'5", I think if he's listed at 320, he's about a biscuit and a half over 350. I'm just going to put it like that. But he was able to manhandle him and give enough space for Klubnik and Zane Miners to kind of get through the line of scrimmage. So I just wanted to highlight him real quick. We'll stick with Westlake, and then we'll move forward. Big shout-out to Michael Taff. He also committed to the University of Texas, as well as Zane Miners, who was previously committed to Columbia, but now is going to be playing at the 40 Acres here in Austin and staying local. As I did mention, we were going to talk about a little bit of the smaller schools. I want to give a big shout-out to Corbin Hutcherson. He's going to go commit and play football at Angelo State. And then a real small D3 school, shout-out to Hendrickson's William Lowry, a.k.a. Trey. He's going to be going out and playing at Fitchburg State and the Fitchburg Falcons. So I just wanted to go ahead and highlight him as well. So many young people, I think, get overlooked at times. And if you're using a recruiting website, that's great. Or if you're just kind of doing it on your own, just a quick tip. If you really want to get exposure, something that I've kind of told a few people who I've guided and mentored a little bit, use your Twitter profile as the springboard. The Twitter profile is something that a lot of coaches use to kind of filter the right prospects that they're looking for, whatever they have a need for. So what I tell people, and I told one young person today, and I'm not going to mention names because it's not fair to them, but I just gave him an update, and I said, look, man, get you a Twitter. If you already have a Twitter, great. What you need to go do is you need to put your school's name. You need to put your classification. So what, are you a junior, senior? Just put your graduation year, your height, your weight, your GPA, if you've taken any SATs or ACTs or SATs, put that in there as well, because the grades as well as the measurables and link your huddle, because there's an area for a link. Put that in there so that the coaches can see, one, they can skim over your measurables, look at your grades, and then watch your tape, and then they can make an assessment. That's what I do. That's kind of what I do when I look at other talent outside of Austin area, because we want to make sure we give them shine as well. But those are something keys that I look into and I sit on, so that when I look at the tape and the tape matches the measurables, it gives me a little bit easier understanding on how we're going to rate that young person. And a couple of more quick highlights. Like I said, we're going to highlight people outside of the Austin area. So shout out to Floresville's Darian Murphy, picking up an offer from Louisiana Tech, running back out of Floresville. So I thought I was being distracted over here, but it's Papa Romeo setting up, getting a little bit more organized. Another young person that we really didn't mention too much, but he's a big kid, and that's Hunter Hewitt out of Cedar Park, who's going to take his talents to Southern Arkansas, and then one person out of the Rio Grande Valley, I'm looking for his name because he did reach out to us, and he was pretty adamant if we could give him some shine, and that's Steve Tijerina, a young man out of PSJ Alamo Memorial. He had, if that name sounds familiar, Coach Regalado, the guy who is an internet sensation on TikTok and Instagram. You see all those coaching TikToks. That's him. He used to be there. He's at another school now, but give a big shout out to Steve. He found us. We did a quick edit for him, posted on our socials so that we could get the message. And the young man committed. I think he's going to be playing at McPherson University as he moves forward with his college career. But lots of nice things going on for all the young people. Tomorrow, like I said, it's National Signing Day. All the schools are going to be setting up all the pageantry for all of their fall sports and maybe some of their spring sports from last year, if kids are maybe still there, depending on how things worked out. But the fall sports, everybody's going to be signing so that they can move forward. And once, pretty much you sign that national letter of intent, you're fully committed, invested to that university. Some things can, let you get out of there. There's a big coaching change or something substantial, but that's pretty much a lock for the next 4 years or until you move on to better opportunities. So that's going to be going on tomorrow. We're going to have a lot of coverage on Recon Athlete all day long. Many pictures, many videos. You'll see people with their family as they celebrate the great opportunities that they're kind of experiencing now. So it'll be fun for them. Another thing I want folks to really kind of understand is that if you have someone in your community, just share that content, because it's something that helps not only the family and the student athlete, but it also helps the schools get out that name so that those young people can reap the rewards. And that's something that we really want to focus on at Recon Athlete, to help the young people. And we do things right now just out of the goodness of our heart, because we're trying to grow, and it really helps us grow to kind of put somebody else before us and help them along the way. Because I talked about this with some people, is when I was coming up, we really didn't have a tool like Recon Athlete to make sure that we could get the proper exposure for the right people when either the resources weren't available or they didn't have the right contact. It was just a tool to get their name out and help people get more exposure as we cast this a broad net, so that more opportunity and more eyes can get on that student athlete if they do want to move forward with their athletic and academic career. Papa Romeo, what do you think about Recon Athlete?
Well, I've been listening to it ever since its inception, and as I told y'all, I think it was January. This is before the Rona came in January of 2020. I just thought it was a wonderful avenue or format for young football players in high school to get some kind of exposure out in the bigger markets. And that's really, I think, the hallmark of y'all's program is y'all have given these student athletes who might not otherwise have access, to some markets, an avenue to get there. And I think that's very, very significant.
Well, appreciate that. You kind of seen the inner workings of Recon Athlete and what it kind of takes to do that role and to put these posts up. You know, and it's kind of one of those things where when you do a job and it's something that you don't want to do, it's kind of work. But when it's something you enjoy doing, you really just find it fun. And so it's a really good opportunity for me to kind of learn what's going on in the communities. And then it's also, you know, a benefit for the student athlete at the same time. So it's a fun thing to do. It helps out the young people. And, you know, it just makes things overall better for everybody involved. A couple of quick notes real quick to tie up. I want to give a big shout out to Will Fisher, the punter kicker out of Rouse. And then Cedar Park's Nolan Seifert, going to go ahead and play at William Penn, very prestigious university. And then that man in Westlake will go ahead and close up with Westlake as we began. Cade Klubnik did pick up another offer today from Penn State University. So his total is growing as we speak. And if that name sounds familiar, yes, he beat the number 1 overall quarterback in the class of 22 in Quinn Ewers and South Lake Carroll Dragons in the state championship for the 6A Division I title. So he's, you know, kind of on the come up. We've rated him as a 5-star recruit after his sophomore year. Previously, he was rated a 4-star. And it just depends on who you look at, who's going to rate him differently. But what I found out is that as people progress and as student athletes progress, their ratings usually do the same thing. So I just wanted to kind of give him a quick shout out to let him know that we appreciate what they're doing. And he reciprocates the love. So that's really cool to see the young people give the likes, especially the families give the likes. It means a lot when the dads, you know, reach out to you personally and I want to thank you for doing that for their son. So it's a fun thing to do. Papa Romeo's, he's been joining me on some football games that we've gone to before the COVID had hit. And it's kind of like a family thing. I want to bring everybody together. And once things kind of clear up with COVID, we'll be back at some football games and enjoy some high-level ball and then also some high-level ball in the lower classifications. So when we come back, we'll probably take a break here in about 30 seconds. When we come back, we're going to get in a little bit more of Super Bowl Tuesday. We're going to highlight more of the Kansas City Chiefs on this side. Papa Romeo may get a little more animate when we move forward, him harping me on the KC Bucks game. So we'll see how things go when we come back. See you in a minute. Welcome back, everybody. I hope you were able to get a snack or do whatever business you had to do during the break. But when we come back, we're going to be talking about Super Bowl 55. I'm trying not to get taken down or off of copyright because the NFL will do that if they find it necessary. But we're just a small show. Can I give a quick shout out real quick? Everybody who went and liked and shared the link to the first show, and when I post it again later on, thank y'all very much. My circle of friends on Facebook, the 9 people I think who subscribed already on YouTube, thank you very much. If you do enjoy this show, please subscribe, and hit the bell down below, and share this with your friends if you think this is something they're going to enjoy. If they have a student athlete in their household, let us know about them. Send us a DM on Recon Athlete. On all the platforms, just real easy, just Recon Athlete will pop right up. You can also check us up on our website, reconathlete.com. Soon, the Paul Rodriguez Show will have its website uploaded, and maybe there's some merch that will come along with it. Maybe if y'all want to support the show, get you a little shirt, maybe a little tumbler, Arctic style, Yeti style. Maybe we'll have that available for y'all here in the near future. But moving on, we want to talk about Super Bowl 55. Me and Papa Romeo have been discussing that primarily when we watched the NFC and AFC championship games. And I originally had picked Green Bay over the Bucs, and Papa Romeo took the Buccaneers. And in the AFC, I had Mahomes, and he thought Josh Allen would do what he did, and I had to tell him nope. So we were 1-1. And, I had to take my humble pie early, and Papa Romeo took his late. But in between, I'm an old man. I'm getting to be an old man, and so I had to take a nap. I don't know if you remember that.
Well, you're not older than I am, but
well, that's true. Not as old. The other good thing about this is you can't really see the gray too much yet. But I had to take a nap during that later game because I was just exhausted. But when the smoke all cleared after the 2 games and the Super Bowl was final for the 2 teams participating, I'm still riding with Mahomes. Early in the year, before Aaron Rodgers had his MVP year, I had picked this is when Brady went to Tampa. I was going to say it's going to be probably the Buccaneers in KC for the Super Bowl 55 down in Tampa Bay. And with that being said, Papa Romeo, you heckled me last night. Why did you heckle me?
I would never do such a thing to you.
Now come now. Now this isn't here. We're not here playing tiddlywinks or nothing. We're here talking about the real life. Now, I know Mom was watching. Mom, this is all for the show. Wink, wink. But you were giving me a hard time talking about how I was talking up the Bucs, and I had to let you know.
You did. I mean,
did I?
I told you the Bucs were going to beat Green Bay, and
Yeah.
you were like, "Oh no, Aaron Rodgers." And Aaron Rodgers is a great quarterback. I'm not taking anything away from the guy.
MVP.
Fantastic. He's got a Super Bowl ring. Okay. But the overall better team to me were the Bucs. And I think what's brought him up to the next level is Brady and his winning spirit.
Brady and his happy feet where he threw 3 picks in that game.
Yeah. I mean, he reminded me of Peyton Manning back in that Denver Super Bowl, even though they won.
That's harsh.
He's a good quarterback, but Peyton was way off in that game. And I'm predicting the same thing may happen during the Super Bowl. Brady's not going to be, the Brady from, 2010, but he'll play well enough to win. But the key to the Tampa Bay Bucs is going to be their defense.
And you're right. I think Shaq Barrett, and I think Jason Pierre-Paul and his 7 fingers are going to cause havoc for Mahomes. But the difference between Mahomes and Rodgers is like 13 years, and Mahomes is a little more fleet of foot. Now, Kansas City doesn't have the tackles. I get it. They don't have their starting 2 left and right tackles. Okay, but that's not
what you said the last time. You were all Kansas City, and then now that they're started dropping like flies, and you've got Mr. Turfto, Patrick Mahomes, and now you're just kind of, maybe the Bucs can win.
Well, see here, the biggest thing about the Buccaneers is that I think that Todd Bowles' defense has kind of come alive in the playoffs, winning 3 road games to get to the Super Bowl, and now they have a home game in the Super Bowl. And that was an article that was kind of released the day of the NFC Championship game, was saying that the routine for Tampa is going to be so normal that they're going to treat it like a regular game, as if it was, week 7 or 8. With that being said, when Mahomes and crew come down from Kansas City, bellies full of barbecue, and get ready for the night before, they're going to sleep peacefully, because one man and one man only, and it's not Patrick Mahomes, it's Mr. Tyreek Cheetah Hill, is going to have a field day as he did in week 12 against the Buccaneers. Here's the other thing. The 2 safeties on the back end for the Buccaneers are questionable. They're suspect. And the reason they're suspect is because Aaron Rodgers torched them. When Valdez-Scantling hit that 50-yard bomb, you're telling me that Tyreek Hill is slower than MVS? Not a chance in hell. But I do give you the puncher's chance for Brady, because Brady's spirit, his
will to win.
His will to win, correct. His will to win is unmatched because he has the hardware, and you can't argue with that.
Right, exactly. But, and I don't know all the scientific technical terms.
There's no Scientology going on right now.
The symbiology of what you're saying to me right now. But all these things, I'm looking at it again, as I told y'all in the first show a year ago. I'm just coming at it as a fan.
Yeah.
And what I see as a fan. So I'm not digging deep, getting into weeds on the lineups and all that. Just like that number 10, I know he's fast.
Tyreek Hill.
He's going to get swatted
Put some respect on the man's name.
He's going to get swatted.
Listen,
they're gearing up for the guy.
It's yes, you can get swatted if you get caught, and he doesn't get caught. So that's another thing I think people are really going to understand, because if you go back and look at the game, we don't have to get deep in the weeds. We can just look at the highlights on YouTube. Go look at the highlights, and Tyreek Hill had a field day. Now, Todd Bowles is probably going to do things a little differently on that. But with that being said, now you're going to have open Sammy Watkins. Now you're going to have open Travis Kelce. I mean, McCall Hardeman. I mean, Lev Bell might play. I don't know. Le'Veon Bell. The weapons, I think, are so great. But I can't ignore Chris Godwin and Mike Evans and Antonio Brown on the other side. They're pretty comparable. The thing is that, am I going to trust a 43-year-old GOAT, or am I going to trust a 25-year-old bull? And I'm going to rock with the 25-year-old. That's just where I'm seeing it.
I'm going to stick with the Buccaneers.
The elder statesmen will stick together through and through.
The Bucs defense, if they can get to Mahomes early and rattle him and shake him up, they've got a sincere shot of winning that game.
So you're telling me that with Patrick Mahomes' awkward throw motion, if needed, quick delivery when on demand, he's going to get happy feet? That's what you're telling me?
Look, all I'm saying, let me put it to you this way. The head coaches, those 2 head coaches, they're not your, what you would consider your Hollywood head coach type, the square-jawed, tall, slim guys that look like Captain America, right? These 2 guys look like they're drinking beer in Lulen.
Listen.
They look like they're drinking beer in Lulen.
That may be true.
They'll fit right in. So I'm going back to, what about the OC? What about the DC for both teams? That's where I'm hanging my hat.
Okay, great. So you're telling me that Eric Bieniemy is going to lose the matchup to Todd Bowles
if the Bucs win?
Oh, so it's if they win.
But that's why they got to play the game.
Sure, and that's 100% true. And
if I could tell you today, there's no point in playing the game.
But there is an opportunity to have the discussion, which we're having right now.
Right.
So I really like the Buccaneers squad. If I had to really look at match for match, if I'm going to match up the head coaches, I ain't taking the Kango hat. I'm gonna take Mr. Let's go get a snack, not Rex Ryan, but the other one. Let's get a cheeseburger and Andy Reid. I'm gonna take Mahomes at quarterback. I'm probably gonna take the receiving core only due to the fact. Now, I didn't say tight end. I said receiving core. I didn't say I'll take Kelce over Gronk. And the defense, I like Kansas City's defense because of 2 things. I like Frank Clark, and I like Chris Jones, and I like Tyrann Mathieu in the back. They don't have – now you have Shaq Barrett on Buccaneers, and you have JPP for the Buccaneers. You don't have a safety. And that's where I think the difference is. Defense is going to win championships. Tyrann Mathieu is probably going to be that X factor.
I don't disagree with that.
You heard that here first. Papa Romeo does not disagree with that last statement. We'll see how that goes when it's Super Bowl Sunday. All right, 7:45. We'll probably have one more animated block when we come back. Let's take a 5-minute break. We'll be back to wrap the show, and let's see if we can find some new shows. Maybe we'll talk about Papa Romeo, what he watches on daily. We'll be back. So, Papa Romeo, you were saying that you had something you wanted to get off your chest.
Well, which one? Which part? There's several.
Let him fly.
I really like your flags.
Oh well, I want to say these flags behind me were courtesy of Papa Romeo and Mama G. I can't say her real name. Mama G out there. I think Papa Romeo more. We have to just lean that way so that nobody gets hurt.
Yeah, and your brother lent us
shout
stuff
out to K Rod
and your sister Mallory and Kevin's wife Mallory. What about our little Southwest Texas? We're going way back in time here.
I don't know. Can y'all see that? Hold it up for the people.
Well, I'm getting used to where the camera would be.
Yeah, there you go.
Here, you do it.
We'll bring it right there. For all of you alumni before 2003, y'all will all recognize this, and I know there's a lot of y'all here in Studio 44 headquarters. So this is for all of y'all. They were. Will we get this in 2019? That 2019 season?
Yeah, the Alumni Association. That young lady, you bought it from her. You remember because we have the reserved tickets there for all that section, and they were selling those.
Bougie.
I'm still waiting for them to call me. I'm still waiting for them to call me about this year's tickets.
Athletic department for Texas State. Holler at Papa Romeo. He's waiting for that call. Just so y'all know.
Yeah, the tickets are already paid for.
Yes, they are. They rolled over. So shout out to all the alum at Southwest Texas. Previously, was it Texas Teacher College?
Man, we're going way back before my time, but I believe it was a Texas State Teachers College.
Yeah. It has many names.
And then now it was Southwest Texas State University, and then Texas State University in the mid-'90s.
So you mentioned Texas State, and for those who are probably 40 to 50, the movie Unnecessary Roughness had Texas State. What were your thoughts about that in the 80s when that movie came out?
I don't have any. I don't even remember that movie.
You don't remember the movie with Sinbad and the guy? He came on. I can't remember the name of the actor, but he was on a show on USA, and he would like teleport to different times. He was like a time traveler. Anyways,
the only Sinbad I remember was the Sinbad from the 60s when he fought the Cyclops. That's the only Sinbad I remember.
We're talking about like Arabian Adventures.
Yeah,
is that what we're talking about?
Yes.
All right. So moving forward, he doesn't remember the fighting armadillos, and Texas State was actually Southwest Texas in that movie. I don't know if you don't remember, now you do.
But I do remember Coach Wacker and how many championships that the Southwest Texas won. And they were in a different level.
Yeah, but they were winning national titles when you were on campus.
Yeah, and then when I graduated in '84, right about then is when they built that new stadium. So and then of course it's a whole lot bigger than it is back then.
Yeah, it's a really nice facility now. If y'all haven't seen it, go by. It's got there's a big bridge now that's kind of running next to it to go over the train. But good facilities, nice little area. Maybe it'll grow more. We'll see. But I wanted just to close out the show and just talk about, I don't know if y'all know, but the EA Sports, we're just talking about side things going on in the world of football. EA Sports has rebooting their NCAA college football game to come out, which is really big, received really well by a lot of people, me included, just because I played it so much whenever I was in my early 20s. And shout out to August Aguiano. He is a player at Crockett High School. I think he's a sophomore right now. Anyways, he had sent Recon Athlete a message, and he was like, how do I import my Dynasty? And I go, bro, you got to go get your 8 megabyte memory card from your PS1 to move over your Dynasty. And for those who are my age or under 45, you're going to remember what that little card looked like to store your memory compared to now when all of our phones probably have 60 or 70 gigabytes instead of megabytes to store data. I just thought that was a funny anecdote to kind of put on there. But shout out to everybody who joined the live stream tonight. Again, this is going to be a daily show, Monday through Friday, 7 to 8 p.m. We'll probably soon, in the next week and a half, probably start getting guests on the show. If there's somebody you would like to see on the show, let us know in the comments. If they're local, if you know them, if they're a player, if they're a coach, or if you have a business you'd like to shout out, we'll go ahead and communicate and see if it's a fit for you to come on the show virtually, just so we can keep safe with COVID going on right now. And then, grow from there. That's something I really want to do this. It's for me to give back to the community, but also talk about sports along the way. Very grateful tonight for Papa Romeo coming in here and manning the boards for his in-kind work. Thank you very much, Papa Romeo, for doing that tonight.
So you don't think we're going to evolve into the Papa Romeo football talk show?
Hey, let us know in the comments below. Would you like to see the Papa
No, I'm
Romeo
just kidding,
football
folks.
talk? No, let the people speak. If they want to hear the Papa Romeo hour, maybe that's what we should do. Let us know below.
It's just a 20-minute show. It's not
If
gonna
you'd
be
like
1
to
hour.
see the Papa Romeo, P-Rod Papa Romeo Power Hour. How about that?
There you go. That sounds good.
You like that? Okay. Let us know in the comments below. We'll check that out. But again, thank y'all very much for joining us tonight. Please like and subscribe and comment down below. If you'd like to see that show, just give us a big yes on the P-Rod Papa Romeo, and we'll know that you are voting for that. Soon we'll get more people in here. We'll have a poll, probably have a little bit more sophistication. But we wanted to get off the ground and show the people, we want to be here for them. We want to speak for them and have a little fun along the way. And, just talk about football. Next time, all you Dallas Cowboy fans, we'll meet the quota. We'll talk about Dallas. That'll really get Papa Romeo fired up.
Why are you always messing with Dallas?
Because Dallas moves the needle. That's why. Moves the needle, folks. Because if you're if you're a Dallas hater or a Dallas lover, you're going to tune in and watch the nonsense.
Well, I earned the right to complain about Dallas because I've been
Why?
watching them all my life.
Well,
But
how long is
we're-
that?
Since Roger Staubach and of course there's a dead period of the Danny White time, and
Elder statesman.
then we go into the Troy Aikman years. But I'm hoping they do well. But again, we all know what the problem is.
Let them know how you really feel. Let me tell
Not
you.
right now.
Let me tell you something, Papa Romeo. We can go ahead and get that deal done with Dak real quick, but I'm going to need you to go ahead and make sure that you let everybody know about the Paul Rodriguez show. When Jerry Jones wants to sign a check, his hand does not cramp. So when you get to know the show correctly and you tell Dak Prescott just to come on in, we'll get the deal done.
Maybe so.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, appreciate y'all watching tonight. We'll be back tomorrow at 7 p.m. Oh, real quick before we go, Papa Romeo, what's your favorite TV show right now?
My favorite television show?
Yes, be honest.
Starsky and Hutch reruns.
My goodness, y'all. Starsky.
That's all I can watch on TV. The other stuff I just can't take.
There's going to be people who are going to say, "Oh yeah, Starsky and Hutch with Owen Wilson and what's the guy from Zoolander? I can't think of his name.
Yeah, I know who you're
Ben
talking
Stiller.
about. Ben Stiller. But no, we're going back to David Soul and Paul Michael Glacier, those Starsky and Hutch. But the Gran Torino stayed the same in the new movie. Thank goodness for that.
So that Gran Torino came out when that show was at its height.
Yeah, well, it's from the 70s, but that particular candy apple red with a white stripe and a high end, that made the show there.
So you heard it first, a candy apple red with a white stripe and a high end. If you're from the 70s, you're probably going to love that car. Until next time, I'm Paul Rodriguez, P-Rod, Papa Romeo. Thank you very much for joining tonight. We will catch you tomorrow. Remember, National Signing Day for high school sports. We're going to have all the rundown. We'll get it for you then. See you tomorrow.